Right, shalom, shalom. First, I'd like to give all praises unto Yahweh, Bahashem Yahushai, Waharakah Kodash, and double honors unto the apostles and elders of Great Millstone, and honors to you brothers out there in the highways and the byways, teaching this word in all sincerity and in truth. Now, you had this individual, Tazaryak, he made a statement that the mixed multitude were Israelites, and you know, listen, we don't need to corrupt the word in order to uphold the truth. And that's what he's trying to do. Because one of the doctrines of Christianity is that the mixed multitudes is like a foreshadowing of non Israelites, people who are not of the seed of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, being brought into Israel. And so they say that the mixed multitude was like a foreshadowing for that, which is not true, because the mixed multitude were neither saved from Egypt, neither were they partakers in the covenant which the Lord made with the Israelites, with Moses as the mediator. They were not party to the covenant. Same way that the heathen, all right, which the mixed multitude were heathens, are not party to the new covenant. All right, there is no foreshadowing for anyone else but the seed of Israel being the chosen people. Okay, there's no room for that. All right, so I don't need to go and say, oh well, the mixed multitude were Israelites. There's no need to do that. Just tell the truth. We can stand on the truth. That's it. Now, if people don't want to believe the truth, that's their business. The Bible says, for what if some did not believe? But it's not our job to try and twist things in order to make the truth more plausible to people of non understanding. If you're of the elect, you're going to receive the truth, you're going to understand, and you're going to believe. It's simple as that. Just teach the truth. The Bible says, sanctify them through thy truth. Thy word is truth. That's it. We ain't got to do nothing else. We ain't got to put no hot sauce on it. We ain't got to remix it or rehash it to make our argument any stronger than it is. Our argument is already strong because, hold on. First Esdras, the fourth chapter. All right, we just listen. The truth is all we need, man. And if you can't get it, you can't get it, man. All right, it's still gonna mow you over. Right, first Esdras, the fourth chapter and the 38th verse. It says, "As for the truth, it endureth and is always strong." So all we need to do is teach the truth to provide the proper interpretation, and that's it. We ain't gotta do nothing else. It said, "It liveth and conquereth forever." With her there is no accepting of persons or rewards, but she doeth the things that are just, and refraineth from all unjust and wicked things. And all men do well like of her works. Neither in her judgment is any unrighteousness. And she is the strength, kingdom, power, and majesty of all ages. Blessed be the God of truth, which is Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. All right. And with that he held his peace, and all the people then shouted and said, "Great is truth and mighty above all things." And this event is actually confirmed because it is known among the Zoroastrians, among the Persians, that they considered the truth to be the greatest virtue. And that goes back to this event right here, which it was established in the kingdom. The truth was great above all. So that's all we got to do is tell the truth, man. Right? Just because the Christians say that the mixed multitude were delivered, they weren't delivered. They came out of Egypt, right, alongside us, but they weren't the ones being delivered. They were tagging along because Egypt was through. Egypt was done with, and they wanted to be among the chosen people. But among us, They were not first class citizens, they were second class citizens. They weren't members of the nation, they weren't of the covenant. Hence why I'm going to read you that they were numbered among the cattle. And that's why we have laws to govern whether you're an Israelite or whether you're not an Israelite. And you're always going to have heathens living amongst us, because we're going to have servants. You're going to have heathens that come through our land to do merchandise. All right? Just because the heathens are amongst us in some form doesn't mean that they are of us or are party to us or a part of our covenant. So just because the mixed multitude came up out of Egypt, don't mean that they're the seed that the Lord delivered out of Egypt and into the promised land to receive an everlasting inheritance. No, that weren't them. They didn't receive an inheritance with the Israelites. They lived on our inheritance, but they had to pay for it. All right, because we're the landowners. They're not landowners. All right, now this is Exodus 12 and 36. It said, the Lord gave the people, what people? The Israelites, right? Favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they lent unto them such things as they required, and they spoiled the Egyptians. And the children of Israel, right? Who is the focus and the main character here? The children of Israel, the sons of Israel, and by extension, obviously, the women. All right, but the core and the spine of the nation is with the men, right? The children of Israel, where we at? Sorry, the children of Israel journeyed from Ramses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot that were men beside children, right? And a mixed multitude went up also with them, right? That mixed multitude represents you had other nations, you had Egyptians and members of, because remember, Egypt was like a center, a massive center to the world at the time. So you would have had people that were in Egypt that were from different nations, right? Also being servants or whatever the case may be, businessmen, merchantmen. And when Egypt got jacked up and they see that the power of the Lord and how the Lord was with us, they wanted to latch on to that, to us, man. Like, yeah, we going with these people because these people are blessed, right? Egypt's down bad. They're cursed. So they tried to leave, hoping to get some of them hand-me-downs. All right? And there's nothing wrong with that. It says, and a mixed multitude went up with them, and flocks and herds, even very much cattle. So the mixed multitude is separate from the Israelites. The mixed multitude, right, is other heathens, and they were numbered with the flocks, with the herds and the cattle, right? And the reason the Lord had these people come with us is they were going to be workers, just like how when we went to the land of Canaan, the Lord had it in the spirit where a bunch of them Canaanites became our servants, hewers of wood and drawers of water. Every nation of people, right, needs servants too, human resources to aid in our productive capabilities. So the mixed multitude, that's what they would have been. Human resources, servants. They were coming to live in our land. So what you think they were going to live there for free? They're going to have to work for us. We were going to be landlords over them because the land was given unto us for an inheritance, not them. All right? And that's all you got to explain. But because these men don't want to explain and speak the truth, they want to change it up. We don't need to change it up. Just say what it is. Just say the truth. The truth is with us. And if you stick to the truth, you can't lose. You can't lose, man. We won't lose. Right? Now. Right. So another point concerning the mixed multitude, right? So you had the mixed multitude, you had the cattle and all sorts. They're never really mentioned again too much after that because they're not really of significance. These people were outside of the congregation. So, for example, when you go into the scriptures, right, the Israelites were ordered, right, in a particular manner surrounding the tabernacle. All right. Let's see if I could get the exact, right. And this was very specific. So let's get this. Is Numbers 1 and 51. It says that when the tabernacle is set forward, the Levite shall take it down, and when the tabernacle to be pitched, the Levite shall set it up, and the stranger that cometh nigh shall be put to death. And the children of Israel, the sons of Israel, very specific. It didn't say the children of Israel and the mixed multitude, right? The mixed multitude is not really mentioned after Exodus 12 to any great degree because, again, they're not significant, right? Just like the cattle is not mentioned much, and they was just about there, but they weren't part of the thing. It says, and the children of Israel shall pitch their tents, every man by his own camp, and every man by his own standard throughout their hosts. So we were actually ordered according to our tribes and according to our families. But if we were ordered specifically according to our tribes and our families in arrangement around the tabernacle, then where was the mixed multitude in this arrangement? They were outside. They would have to pitch separate to the arrangement of the tribes because the tribes is the world. The tribes is the cosmos. That's where you get the word cosmos, an arrangement. You want to know who the world that the Lord loves, the cosmos, is the arrangement of the tribes surrounding him at the center, nigh unto him, close unto him. All right, now Numbers 2 goes on to further break down the arrangement of the camps. And there's one the thing you'll notice is that, again, the mixed multitude is not mentioned because they're not a part of the arrangement. All right. So you can go and read it all for yourself. But pretty much you read through Numbers 2, you ain't going to find nowhere where it says, and the mixed multitude. But no, they're not even mentioned. They're not significant. They're not a part of this thing. All right. They were outside of the arrangement on the outer court. Okay. Now there's an image. This image will do. Right. So this is how the Israelites were arranged. All right. Surrounding the tabernacle, the holy tabernacle. Now, where is the place of the mixed multitude? Well, outside of this. They had to dwell outside of this because Dan wasn't dwelling with Asher. Asher wasn't dwelling with Naphtali. As it's written, every man had to dwell according to what their own standard. So there wasn't no mix up thing going on when it comes to the arrangement that the Lord prepared like a beautiful bouquet, all right, around him, right? You had Issachar, right, with Judah and Zebulun in the east. You had Dan, Asher, and Naphtali in the north. This is all by divine decree. In the south, you had Gad, Simeon, Reuben. In the west, you had Ephraim, Manasseh, and Benjamin. Right? And the tribe of Levi was surrounding the tabernacle on the inward parts, the inner court. Where were the heathen? They were in the outer court. Yeah, which is outside of the holiness. Just like in the temple, you got the outer court, which is for the heathen, the mixed multitude. But the court of Israel, which is the holy parts, the court of the women, the court of Israel, the holy tabernacle, that is for the Israelites. Where are the heathens in this image? On the outside. They're not within the holy arrangement. Okay, they're not there. If they are, show me where they are. Because it mentioned them in Exodus 12, why are they not being mentioned here? Oh, and also the mixed multitude was situated. No, don't even situate them. They on the outside. They're not part of the cosmos. Right? That's why the Bible says, for God so loved the world. What world? That you just seen the world. Because one of the meanings of world is an arrangement, like how you can get stars and arrange them into a constellation. What you just witnessed was the world that the Lord loved, and He arranged us, right? Cosmos, an apt and harmonious arrangement or constitution, order, or government. An ornament, a decoration, adornment, the arrangement of the stars, the heavenly hosts, as the ornament of the heavens, the world, the universe, right? The arrangement. That's what we just seen right now, the beautiful arrangement, the world, which is Israel. Okay? When Moses established the new covenant, they weren't in the holy congregation, man. That's why it is written. Moses called the elders of Israel. Who was there? Um, Exodus 24:5. And he sent young men of the children of Israel and the mixed multitude. No, of the children of Israel, which offered burnt offerings and sacrificed peace offerings of oxen unto the Lord. And Moses took half of the blood and put it in the basins, and half of the blood he sprinkled on the altar. And he took the book of the covenant and read it in the audience of the people. And they said, all that the Lord said we will do, and be obedient. And Moses took the blood and sprinkled it on the people. Do you think he sprinkled the blood on the mixed multitude? No, they weren't among the holy arrangement. They weren't among the holy people. And said, behold the blood of the covenant which the Lord hath made with you concerning all these words. Then went up Moses and Aaron, Nadab and Abihu, and the 70 of the elders of Israel, and they saw that the God of Israel they saw the God of Israel, and there was under his feet as were a paved work of sapphire stone, and as it were the body of heaven in his clearness. And upon the nobles of the children of Israel, where's the nobles of the mixed multitude? He laid not his hand. Also they saw God and did eat and drink. Right? And the Lord said unto Moses, come up to me into the mount and be there, and I will give thee tables of stone and a law and a commandment which I have written, that thou mayest teach them. Okay, so this is the Lord actually establishing the covenant with the children of Israel, right? It's not with the children of Israel and the mixed multitude, because they were never there among the holy congregation. They were on the outside. They weren't part of the arrangement. Okay, so we don't need to lie and but the mixed multitude were Israelites too. No, it doesn't. No, they weren't Israelites for one. For two, just because they was around us and were traveling with us, don't mean that they partook with us in the holy things. They weren't arranged with us. They weren't selected. They weren't blessed with us. They were just there and thereabouts, in the vicinity, on the outside. All right. And that's what Tarzarek has to explain. And it's the truth, and let it stand by itself. You ain't got to try and twist things up. We ain't got to do all that, man. Just stand on the truth, my man. That's all you got to do. Just stand on the truth. The truth is more than enough. The truth is more than enough. But that's my 2 pence on the mixed multitude, man. They weren't, like I said, they weren't a part of the holy arrangement, as you can see, as described in Numbers 1 and 2. Why is that? Okay. In fact, I said to Chat GPT, why were the mixed multitude not arranged with the Israelites in Numbers 1 and 2? It says, in Numbers 1 and 2, God commands Moses to take a census of Israel's fighting men, Numbers 1, 2 to 3, and to arrange the camp tribe by tribe, in Numbers 2. The mixed multitude, first mentioned in Exodus 12 and 38, were non-Israelites who left Egypt with Israelites, likely Egyptians and other foreigners who had attached themselves to the community. Yeah, sideman. Here's why they were not included in the census of the tribal arrangements. The census was for covenant members by tribe. The mixed multitude were not covenant members. Right? The count in Numbers 1 was explicitly limited to all the congregation of the children of Israel by their families, by their fathers' houses. Numbers 1 and 2. Lineage was essential for inheritance and tribal identity, and the mixed multitude had no tribal ancestry in Israel. Military organization was tribal. The census was for those able to go to war. Since tribal affiliation determined military units, outsiders without a tribal connection couldn't be enlisted in Israel's army structure. The camp's holiness required clear boundaries. The camp was arranged around the tabernacle, with the Levites guarding its holiness. The mixed multitude, being outsiders, may not have had the same access or obligations, and placing them within the sacred tribal arrangement could blur covenantal distinctions. So they didn't have a place in the arrangement in the world. Later tensions show why this distinction mattered. In Numbers 11 and 4, it is the mixed multitude who fell a lusting and stirred up Israel's complaints. This suggests that while they were part of the community, meaning they were among us, right? You communicate, so forth. They weren't fully integrated into Israel's covenant identity, and their different backgrounds sometimes caused friction. In summary, the mixed multitude were present among Israel but not part of the tribal structure. Numbers 1 and 2 is about covenant order, military organization, and holiness centered on Israel's God. The mixed multitude were not holy. They were not separated unto the Lord. Since the mixed multitude had no tribal lineage, they were not arranged in the census or camp formation, even though they lived among the Israelites. Would you like me to also pull Jewish comment? Nah, it's all right, cool. So that's the point on that, man. We ain't, the mixed multitude ain't no foreshadowing for no heathens, actual heathens being them. No, yeah, them man was just they were there about there, but they had nothing to do with holiness and with the covenants and all such things. And that's why they were mentioned pretty much twice in the whole Exodus. And they're not important. They weren't important then, and they're not really important now. All right. All right. So hopefully, Lord willing, that was edifying. So if that, I'm gonna say shalom.